Hi there, I'm Michael Bovee with Consumer Recovery Network, and thanks for tuning in to DebtBytes, our YouTube channel, where we talk about all things debt and credit. Today, I want to talk to you about when you fall behind in paying Lending Club. Lending Club is one of the largest peer-to-peer lenders in the nation, and you can often have loans, consolidation, or other types of loans, even small business loans that you get for you personally, but used for small business purposes, inside of $40,000. So when you're struggling to keep up with Lending Club, then you have to understand you're limited with the options that they're going to make available to you because of the way that they're structured. They have individual investors. It's not just one person or one place that's typically investing in your loan, it's a pool of money. And so they don't have protocols and procedures or policies to go out there with those investors and look for approval on certain things that you might need to have happen, namely flexibility in what you can afford. So it's real simple to explain. You're not going to be able to, or at least at the time I'm recording this video, and at any point has Lending Club authorized you to get lower interest rates through the nonprofit credit counseling agencies, about 100 or so of those around the nation, that enroll all of your unsecured debts and get all of that reduced down to one lower payment through interest rate concessions. Lending Club's not going to participate in that. You are typically not going to be able to go direct to Lending Club and renegotiate the terms of your loan. It's just not something they do. What they do is they will negotiate payoffs with you. And now it's not Lending Club. Today we're in 2016, and for all of this year they've pretty much not been doing the negotiating and settling inside of their own resources, their own employees. You're typically going to be dealing with an outside third party. And we've also seen Lending Club start to sell off debt. So, more typically, you might find that you're negotiating your unpaid Lending Club balance with a debt buyer. So why is it unpaid? Because if you can't afford it now and you're struggling to make ends meet, you actually have to let it go behind for them to trigger the account as something that is no longer an asset, no longer a performing loan, and they're going to sell it off into the market to one of the larger debt buyers in the US. And it's there usually that you can target 40%. I've seen some 38% recently, even a 36%. Settlement, that is, and that's a percentage of the balance. In other words, you're saving 60+% on the loan, but you have to fund that settlement usually up front. There are some limited options to get payment terms. So what's happened here is you've gone without paying Lending Club for typically a minimum of 4 months, but usually you'll find that you're reaching these kind of deals the longer the debt's gone unpaid. When you fund these things, you often want to get everything done in writing before you ever release a penny of your money to an outside third-party contingency debt collector, which I'm not seeing that much of with Lending Club, but certainly with a debt buyer. Your alternatives are bankruptcy, which frankly is not an option of last resort, it's an option of first resort. If you understand what Chapter 7 can do for you, if it's Chapter 13, settling is usually going to be a better alternative to a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. But you want to stop and think about all of your debts. Typically, after years and years of consulting with consumers that are struggling to pay a Lending Club type of debt, I noticed that they have many other types of debts. So is Lending Club and all of these other aggregate debts, when you set them aside, is Lending Club more important than any of your other bills or your other debts that you might want to try and settle to avoid bankruptcy? And that's a discussion that can't be had necessarily in a single video, and it's something that we're available to talk to you about for free. You can call us, call the hotline, I'm option 2, and we can talk more about your specifics and whether Lending Club should be first, whether you can even settle at all, other strategies that you might want to think about. But you can also add into the comments below what your situation is, what other debts that you are struggling with, especially ones that you're not and haven't been able to pay, similar to Lending Club, because some of those might be more important to, one, capitalize on savings that are more dynamic than that you can find with Lending Club or anybody you settle with on a Lending Club debt, and then also ones that might be more apt to sue you. And by the way, Lending Club sells debt to one of the larger debt buyers in the nation who also sues. So there's definitely a delicate balance that you want to find with your available cash flow, when you can project you'll have it enough to settle, and who comes first. See you on the next video.